So relation between delta G naught and E naught of the cell. E naught is the standard electrode potential of the cell, and delta G naught is Gibbs free energy. So we know that delta G, or Gibbs free energy, is an extensive property. Which means that it does not depend upon it does not depends upon the mass, or the amount or whatever thing, that amount or mass or the material which is present. So it is an extensive property, and whereas delta E, or we can say E naught of the cell, is an intensive property. Which depends upon the mass, amount, or the material which is. So yeah, mass and amount depends. Now the relation between delta G and E naught of the cell is represented as delta G is equal to minus of NF E naught of the cell. This is a delta G we stay as standard Gibbs free energy. N is the number of electrons transferred, or exchanged during the reaction, and whereas F is our Faraday constant, which means Faraday constant, we'll get to that, and E naught is the electrode potential of the cell, standard electrode potential of the cell. So F is Faraday constant, which is simply like the charge on one mole of electron. So its value is constants, and it is 96500 coulomb. This is constant value. So let me just give you an example of the entire thing that we studied. So for example, let's take in reaction A plus B gives us C. Alright, and let's say n electrons have been transferred. And E naught of the cell reaction is given as, let's say, B, capital B. So delta G naught will be equal to minus of the number of let A be the electrons transferred. It will be much more easier to see that. So N is RA, which means the electrons transferred, and E naught of and F is the Faraday constant, and E naught is given as B. So this is the Gibbs free energy, standard Gibbs free energy. Sometimes we are given normal Gibbs free energy, so this is minus of NF E cell. So the difference between delta G naught and minus NF E naught of cell, difference between these two is that this is changes accordingly, but this is fixed. I mean to say that at certain conditions, like 1 molar concentration, 1 bar pressure, 1 atm pressure, we can say, and at 298 Kelvin, this is standard, whereas this is not standard. Well, the conditions are not this, so this becomes not standard. Yeah, that was all, I guess. That was a relation between delta G and G naught and E naught of the cell. Thank you for watching.